What's up, it's your boy Shilo, coming straight out of Philly, yeah, the 215, North Philly to be exact. Shout out to F.A.M.E TV for having me today.
Philly, Alright, Shilo, man. Like you said, we live from North right now. I mean, that's where you from. What part of North you from exactly?
You know, I grew up on the side, 23rd Indiana, but I always hung on like 9th and Somerset. Shout out to Chopper Drop, they definitely my guys. And you know, I hung around Erie Ave, you know, got a lot of love down there. My pop and them from South Philly, so like, I got like part of like best of the both worlds, North Philly and South Philly.
Okay. So I want to start from the very beginning. I mean, I want you to describe your upbringing a little bit. You know, your family life, your household, your environment, like what it was like growing up for you in North Philly and running around the streets and all that.
Well, basically, like, when I was younger and shit, my mom and dad, they was living in South Philly. My pop ended up, like, in and out of jail and shit like that. A lot of street shit, like, he was a big-time drug dealer down in South Philly. He just ended up going back and forth to jail. My mom was living down north. So, you know, instead of living with my mom, I had an older cousin, my dad's first niece and shit. I lived with her. She lived in North Philly. So I stayed with her from a kid, probably like 10 years old to, I want to say 17. And I was going to CP on Front Huntington Park as a child because I was like bad as shit. I was smart. I always would get my work done, but I was bad as shit. But I went to CP, that's in North Philly. And then from CP, I went to Simon Gratz. And like North Philly is where I really made my name at. Like back then, like 2009, 2010, parties was popping, 923, 1310. You had the celebration halls. And I was with a group called All Those Shit. We would just go across the city, like having parties, mobbing, making money, fucking with the girls, you know, just doing shit that normal kids do. And then, like, you know, once I got like 16, my step pop, like, he was killed. So like, I was already into the streets a little bit, but not too much because I had that father figure around, like, to show me right from wrong and to know what not to do. But like after he got killed, it was like, damn, like the weight was on my shoulders. I'm like, damn, my mom got all these kids, she by herself, what I'm gonna do? So I started getting out there, you know, hustling, so my mom didn't have to struggle as much. And from hustling, it turned to, you know, carrying guns because like I'm making the money. You got motherfuckers out here that be hating. Instead of trying to make their own bag, they want to take from somebody else, not knowing another person's situation. So I end up carrying guns, end up getting locked up in 2010 for a gun.
Oh, pause there for a second, because I definitely want to get to that. But before you get to that, I want to go back a little bit on something you touched on. Alright, so you said you had a little group called All Those Shit. I mean, that's back when, you know, they had everybody had their own little crew, dancing parties and all of that. And y'all actually had like a little blog joint y'all threw on YouTube like a little while back around that time.
Yeah.
And you actually had a little song joint on there that actually, you know, gave you a little wave back then. So speak a little bit on that joint. It was called the All I Want Is You joint.
And I want you by my side. I know you feeling me too. I can see it in your eyes, girl. Baby, I'll be everything you need. My love is satisfaction guaranteed. Take my hand, we can build a life together with honesty. We can make it last forever. All I want is you in the morning. All I want is you in the evening. All I want, and all through the night, I want you in my life. I need you in my life, girl.
You had posted on your gram on some throwback joint. You was getting a lot of love in the comments. So
yeah.
Speak a little bit on that. Like when that joint came out, because that was like your introduction in the, you know, I guess you could say like the Philly hip hop scene, even though you was on some singing type time. So like, speak on that experience, like getting that little wave back then.
Like when I first did that, like my homies and them, like before we even made that video. Well, right before we made that video, we was you know, I met Tracy and them down like Front Island, and we was busting and shit. Then they found out I can sing, so they recruited me, and we all met up on the corner. 23rd and Cambria, and DJ Bay was out there. You had Trey Slow, Bree Low, Trey Low, Kev, rest in peace, Kev Low. You had all of us out there, Steve Low, like we was out there mobbing. And you know, Tracy, he started rapping, I started singing, and it was a song written by my old head. He was murdered around that time, you know, and you know, we was putting that song together, it was gonna be a major hit. I didn't know it was gonna be that big, but when I sung it and I seen all the views and shit, they start making it into a ringtone. You know, everybody got my party song as got my song as a ringtone. Then I just started doing the party songs, and it just like that experience, like all the people loving me and gravitating to me just because of like a talent that I had. It was like something special because it was like nothing but love. Like everywhere I went at, yo, she love. Like kids wanted to be just like me. So like it was something special to me.
Right. All right, so now we can jump back forward and talk about what you was getting into, because I seen that like a little while back, maybe like a year or so or a little over that ago, you had did a story on Fox News. Like Fox News did a feature on you, and you told some of your story on there. And I know you was getting into talking about when you actually got locked up. So I just want to before you speak on that story, I just want you to speak on like, once you said your step pop got killed, right?
Yeah.
And your pop was in jail at the time.
Yeah.
And that's when you jumped out there in the streets.
Yeah.
And I think you said a situation happened that led to you getting locked up with the gun, like an actual altercation or something like that.
Yeah, it was an altercation.
All right, so go ahead, speak on that. What happened and when they grabbed you? Because you said you was 16 at the time.
Yeah.
And you end up getting charged as an adult.
Yeah.
So you end up going upstate for that charge.
Yeah.
So speak on, once you got grabbed, 'cause I know you probably didn't expect that to happen. So when the situation happened and you got grabbed, give them that whole rundown.
Well,
from
like,
when the situation happened until you got grabbed.
Well, I've been going to bars and shit since I was like 13, 14. Like I never hung around guys my age. I always hung around guys that was older than me. And that was like, big role models in my life, not as far as the street shit, but they always was like, yo, young boy, you real thorough, you can be something. So like, it was this bar on 11th, Indiana. Like I said, I used to hang with guys from 9th and Somerset. They got, they click, chop a drop, neck up, rest in peace, Reezy. Shout out to Call. But yeah, long story short, I was, hanging around them guys, going to parties and shit. Some guys from around that area got into an altercation, a big free for all. They my homies, so we out there, I'm rocking with them. I go to run when everybody take off because the crowd scattered. And I was grabbed by a police officer. He handcuffed me. At first they couldn't find the gun, but then when they found it, fucked me up, locked me up. They had me down in 25th district. I'm sitting in 25th district for like 3 days, 2-3 days, and then I got to call my mom. I seen the judge. I had this sky high ass bill, close to $1 million. And I called my mom. I just remember telling my mom, like, damn, Mom, like I'm never getting out of jail, because I knew my mom's situation. Like she first, getting welfare money, that shit is not enough. And it's like eight siblings at home. I'm the oldest, and like I just seen my life going down the drain. Like I'm young, I'm like, damn, like I ain't know what to do. Like at first I was gonna run, but I'm like, if I run, I'm gonna be running for the rest of my life. So I think at the pre-trial I took a deal for a little light sentence, under 5 years. You know what I mean? And the judge, she looked at me, she was like, well, I see that you was a good kid in school, you always had good grades, you was trouble a little bit, catching a armed robbery at age 12. We're not gonna really look at that, we just talking about this gun right now. And it was just like a slap on the wrist. Like I said, I did my time. I remember being in the county, writing music, singing to people, girls on the phone and shit like that. Just waking up in a cell with another person, not knowing what they in there for, like a complete stranger. Like it fucked me up. Like, 'cause like if you ain't never been on punishment, like jail is somewhere you would never want to be. And that's just like how I'm gonna put it, man. Like that was like the worst experience in my life. Sitting behind the walls, away from my mom and them for all that time, and it just gave me a lot of time to think. So like when I came home, I was like, man, I ain't going back in there. Like that's what my dad did, in and out of jail, in and out of jail. Like that shit for suckers. I started mentoring youth inside high schools. And Temple hired me, and they hired me. I started canvassing neighborhoods, going to different high schools, going up to prisons, talking to juvenile lifers, going up to prisons, talking to young guys that was convicted of guns, got some of the same charges I was charged with. And, mentoring them and sharing my story and telling them why, it's good to stay on a good path instead of going the wrong way. Because you can lose your life in a split second, man. Like, God can take you out of here so fast. And I was given a second chance. So with my second chance, I wanted to give back to my community. And I got recognition from Fox 29, a lady named Shawnette Wilson. She followed me for like 4 or 5 months, just following me, writing things down that, she thought was important for the people to know. And my story hit the news. It just like took off for me. Everybody know me as a motivational speaker. I'm always giving good advice. People call me when they got problems. Like now I'm getting calls from schools to go up to schools, talk to kids. I'm getting calls from placements, POs, juvenile POs wanting to meet with me. I'm meeting with the mayor. I'm in meetings in City Hall. I'm going to Harrisburg giving testimony. So it was like, damn, like I made a transition from being in the streets to, you know, being a part of something so powerful.
So I want to go back a little bit to something you touched on when you talk about your initial time going in there. Because like I said before, you were 16, upstate with grown men.
Pine Grove.
Know what I mean? So what was that like for you initially? Like when you first get in there, I mean, what was you? I know you had to be nervous, scared, like what the, you know what I mean? So, but what was your initial experience like when you first get there as the young guy there?
Mind my business. My uncles and them used to always tell me stories and shit. Or my uncle Steven, he taught me how to bid when I was a kid. You know, it ain't nothing to glorify, but you know, I was already prepared. When they locked me up, I had on 2 pair of drawers, 2 pair of socks. You know what I mean? 2 undershirts. And you know, like just coming from the county, then going up there in the mountains, cold as shit in there. You know what I mean? I wasn't really too worried. Like I never been scared of nothing. Like I've been little all my life. Like so I wasn't afraid at all. Like it was just like I'm going away to a boarding school. Like that's how I looked at it. You know what I mean? It's some way for me to get myself together and know what I want. So when I get out of here, I can get on, you know, get on the road. So being in there with all them different people from different places, different states and shit like that, I just stayed to myself. I read the Quran, I prayed, and you know, I worked out, came home. I went to jail like 115, I came home like 167, 170. But I just prayed, did push-ups, ate a lot of oatmeal bread, didn't really come out myself like that. And when I did, I just sat around the older crowd and stayed to myself. I just minded my business, and it was like the sweetest bit.
Okay. And one thing you also touched on in that Fox News story that I want you to elaborate on a little bit is you was like while you was in there, you was seeing people that was like dads meeting their sons for the first time and uncles meeting their nephews for the first time. He was like, I don't want to be one of them boys. So speak a little bit on that. Like,
like,
cause that's the other side people don't really talk about. Like
when you go on them walls, like you see people that you thought was dead because people done forgot about them. Like after the first 3 months, like. I wasn't hearing from none of my friends and none of that shit. Like, people really forget about you. And then, like, seeing my homie meet his uncle and his dad for the first time, that shit fucked me up. I'm like, damn, he in here doing a dime. His pop been in here for 27 years. Uncle was in there for 40-something years. Like, and this the first time of him seeing both of them. I'm like, no, like, this ain't the life I want to live. Like, can't no jailbirds fly. I'm trying to fly high. I ain't trying to be stuck in this predicament or keep repeating the same shit. So, like, seeing that really had dawned on me like, damn, like I can make this something that's gonna go on for the rest of my life, or I can nip this shit in the bud after my time is up. And I ain't been back to jail since.
Right. And you ended up doing 2 years in total, right? And then you did 2 years, right? And then you got transitioned into a halfway house.
Yeah, work release.
So speak a little bit on that, because a lot of people don't really talk about that experience as well, like work release, halfway house. What that experience like coming from the cell, then back in that, before you get all the way home, you halfway home.
Well, that shit was nerve-wracking because you be on like 30-day blackout when you first get there. Then like just knowing you gotta like you gotta come back after you get to see your family. It was like teasing me a little bit. But then I learned to adapt to it. Like, all right, well, I know I ain't gonna be here forever. So like I had came up with like a routine. Like they had programs. I was like, I don't wanna be sitting here all day. So I took a program and I worked the kitchen on the weekends just so like the days can go faster. So I was making like $150 selling sandwiches and shit in the halfway house, sending money home, taking care of my son mom, you know, making sure she had trains passes for work and shit like that, making sure my mom had food in the house from the halfway house, and I was getting the check that they give you, which is the 22 cents an hour, $22.50 a month, or $22.50 a month. Some shit like that, $44.50 a month, one of them two. And the $22.50 every 2 weeks, $44.50 a month. I was getting that on top of me making sandwiches, tucking them in my motherfucking my blues, going back downstairs, putting it in the bin. So when dudes come in from work that was working in the work release, they had a job, they'd come in late, the late workers. I was selling motherfucking chicken sandwiches with the Parmesan cheese, $4. I'd fry up some wing dings and sell them, you know, $1 a wing, and I was killing them. I was making like every 2 days, every Saturday and Sunday, I was making like $150 to $200. So I was sending like $300, close to $450 home every motherfucking week to my son mom, and I was taking a program, you know, a father-son program. I was taking a program just to get outside, and then I learned how to deviate. Like I signed in at the program and go the fuck home and lay up, and that's how I ended up making my son. And then when I got out of the halfway house, I had had all this shitload of probation. And I was trying to figure out like what I'm gonna do. Like I can go back to my neighborhood where I got in trouble at, or I can find something to do. So like for like the first couple months, like I was strictly on just volunteer work at schools talking to children.
And mind you, like 18, 19 at this point, like when you get home,
yeah,
out the halfway house, you
19,
like 18, 19
yeah,
years old.
19. No, I was 20. I was in the halfway house for like almost a year.
Okay. So when you finally got out, you was 20.
Yeah.
So you was in the halfway house for like almost a year.
Yeah.
Okay. And also you touched on, you know the program that you became a part of, which is the ceasefire program.
Yeah, Philadelphia ceasefire.
Yeah, so they kind of helped you with your transition as well. So you started off volunteering at first, like not making no money initially, and then they actually hired you, and you was like, they said you was like one of the youngest employees on the staff.
Yeah.
So that transition. So speak a little bit on that, as far as like for people that's coming home, that's looking for stuff to do. Like you took a job for free, like you wasn't even making no money at first. Like so, speak on that.
The lady that hired me, Marla Bellamy Davis, I love that lady so much because like I ended up violating like 3 times. I gave up a hot urine when I got the job, you know what I mean? And she still was pushing for me to get the job. And I was like, damn, like this lady care about me this much, like, and don't even know me. She really taking a chance on me. So like, it really showed me like it is people out here that still care, that's willing to go with you like through everything, ups and downs. And she was with me through ups and downs, so it was only right that I gave her 100% of me. And you know, like, it wasn't even about the money. It was just being in jail, seeing people meet their dads and uncles for the first time, and I can be a part of a solution that can help young guys, you know, make a transition on their life, even if they made mistakes. And some of the ones that didn't make mistakes, it'll give them a bright eye, you know, point of view, or how they look at things, a different way of how they look at things. Like, damn, like, I can go to school and get my high school diploma, go to college, and, you know, get a good job and be something, or I can stand on this corner where I gotta worry about somebody robbing me, or the cop jumping out on me, lawyer money, bail money, or me catching a homicide, or me being a homicide. So it was like, you know, I always remind a lot of my clients and stuff, like, because we do to have 15 participants on our that's our job. They have 15 participants and make 4 phone calls and 3 home visits a week. So like, I always remind my clients, and when I'm talking to other youth, that like, don't cherish materialistic things. A lot of us chase like the money to get the materialistic things, and it's like we chasing our own tail. Like, it's like we chasing death, or we chasing jail. And it's like the stuff that we glorify and stuff, like, ain't no U-Haul gonna follow no hearse. Like, none of the stuff that they cherish is not gonna go with them. So I always remind them, like, you know what I mean? You can get this nice mail lady or this mailman to bring your mail every day, or the groundhog gonna bring your mail. That's the only way out of the streets. Like, the streets is undefeated. And, you know, I always remind myself that, like, I can go back to the corner, or I can move forward no matter what happened. So, like, having them in my corner, in my ear, like, pushing me to keep going even when I was falling, it made me stronger and wiser, and it gave me patience with other people. Cause they could have been like, man, he a dickhead, he gonna keep doing the same shit. And a lot of young boys do the same dumbass shit over and over. But you can't give up on them, and I don't give up on nobody I ever, you know, came in contact with, none of the youth that I've been working with. I always stand by their side, even when they going through their, you know, lows. And I be there beside them when they, you know, make it somewhere. And I stay in their ear, and I keep in contact with them. And I always, you know, just remind myself of where I came from. Like, I just was sitting in jail, and now I got a good job. And the key is to keep the job and move forward and become stronger at what I do best.
Right. And like you mentioned, you said you visit home clients, help them in school, help them find jobs.
I go to prisons.
Stuff like that. And also you a hospital responder for trauma victims.
Yeah, gunshot victims.
Yeah, so when people get shot and stuff, they
right by their bed,
you come talk to them and help them out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, speak a little bit on that, cause that's like an odd job for somebody to come out.
So like, being though, like, see, like, me being known And from the party stuff and just all the good stuff that I did in my community, and as far as helping people, period, all the way across the board, gave me a lot more to offer than a lot of other jobs that's out here doing what we doing. You know, like, it's a gift and a curse to be known, because you got people with hidden agendas and you got people that's for you. You got people that's not for you. So, like, when somebody gets shot, I go into the hospital 9 times out of 10. If I don't know them, I know their family or know somebody that they related to or close to. So when I go in there, I always, you know, how you doing? My name is Rashid Smith. Work for Philadelphia Ceasefire. It's a program that we work with high-risk individuals between the ages of 12 and 25, and I give them the spill. You know what I mean? We not here. We not on the cop stuff. We don't care what you do. Our job is to stop you from getting shot or try to retaliate towards though you lose your life or you go to jail. My job is to stay on you to help you become successful and not be a failure. You know what I mean? And you know, like I said before, I give them the spill. You can either get the groundhog to bring you your mail, or the mail lady or the mailman. Like, you already lost. You got shot in your neighborhood. They came in your neighborhood. They shot you. You lost. It ain't no winning out here. Like, regardless of how much money you say you get, sooner or later that shit gonna come to an end. Like, you know, all good things don't last forever unless it's really a good thing. And you know, the shit that we doing out here to get money is not really a good thing, but that's all we know, because they put that shit here to keep us where we at. Like, that crab in the barrel shit is real. Like, people can pull you down. It's easy to get pulled down so fast, man. You just gotta watch your surroundings. So, like, I always tell them, like, you know, watch who you be around. Don't be a victim of who you be around. Watch who you stand by. Don't be a victim of who you stand by. So you gotta just be careful with who you know, call your friends and the type of people you be around. Like, seeing people be shot inside them trauma hospital, inside the hospital in the trauma part with bullet holes in them, or, you know, them all coming off the morphine and then they gotta learn how to walk again. Some of them have colossal bags where they can't poop, right? That's where you wanna be at. This is what you wanna keep going through. This is what you wanna keep putting your mind through. Like, I had this job for 6 years and I ain't see nobody over the age of 25 come inside the ER with gunshot wounds or getting killed by a gun because of who they be around or the stuff that they getting into. I ain't want to be a part of that. I wanted to be, you know, the part where I can help them not want to do it at all. Like, damn, boy came from the streets, he in the hospital. He traveling the world talking to youth. He doing the music, he a comedian, he doing this. He living his life. You just gotta live.
Right. And on that note too, I want you to speak on this. Like, with all that being said, it's ironic because not too long ago, you recently had an experience as well where you got shot.
Yeah.
And you was with your cousin as well.
Yeah.
And he unfortunately passed away in that situation. So I know that had to be, you know, I mean, because it wasn't that long ago, if I'm not mistaken. It was like November, we in December going into January, so it wasn't that long ago.
It was November 17th.
Yeah, so speak a little bit on like what that experience was for you going through that.
My cousin just came home from doing 10 years. Like, we slept in the same bed together, played in the same leagues together, like we did everything together, you know what I mean? And he was just coming home. Or whatever. So I was like happy just to be back around him. So, you know, I end up going down there, hanging around him every day. Like, I wasn't too familiar with what was going on. I know they be going through shit in the neighborhoods, but we go out to the bar. We had a good time, you know what I mean? There was a lot of weird shit going on, so I was telling him, like, yo, I think we should leave. He like, no, we cool. But I kept telling him, like, we should leave. We leave, a car follows us, the same car that was watching us the whole night. As soon as we get to the light, they hit the car about 50 times. I ball up in the back seat, I see my cousin slumped over the seat, like, trying to cover me. Get hit in the back, I jump out. We get to the hospital, one of the doctors, because I work at F.A.M E Presbyterian too, also with gunshot victims. The doctor whispered to me and she told me that my cousin ain't make it. I just freaked out. That was the worst experience I ever experienced ever in my life. Like, seeing bullets flying across my head, my car hit all them times, and through the grace of Allah, I'm still here, being able to do this interview and being able to talk to you, but my cousin gone. It bothers me, it hurt. A lot of people would say they retaliate, but like, I'm a firm believer in karma. Like, I'm Muslim for one, you know what I mean? And I'ma humble myself and I'ma just leave it in his hands. Like, it's unfortunate that my cousin is dead, he's not here no more, but I'ma live it up to the best for him. Like, rest in peace, Shiz. Like, he was one of the best basketball players in South Philly. Like, motherfucker was so good, he can do crossovers with both hands. He was one nigga that I can say was better than Dion Waiters, and Dion Waiters the shit. But like, I would never thought that I would get shot, like, because of the type of person I am and how much love I get in my city. So that was like shocking, like that motherfucker really shot me on a expressway. I was like, that motherfucker got some big balls, man. It crushed me because like, that's really my favorite cousin. Like, that was my dog, like, you know what I mean? And nobody don't deserve to get shot all them times. Nobody don't deserve to get killed, period. You know what I mean? But, you know, ain't nothing in life promised to you but death. And we gotta learn to accept that. But I ain't accepting it the way it happened. But I gotta move forward and chase my dream because I know that's what he would want me to do.
Right. So yeah, on that note, we're gonna switch gears a little bit and get to the music, because I see that you got a lot of relationships and been in the mix with a lot of notable people in the city that everybody know. I mean, like, you from North, so it's a few people from around that way that made it kind of big. Yeah. So just speak on, like, you ain't got to name drop too many people, just speak on, like, just to get the people some insight, some of the people that you done worked with, that you cool with, that you grew up with. I got throwing a couple names out there, like Lil Uzi.
Yeah.
I see that you know him.
Yeah.
P.M.B., I see you got a little relationship with him. So yeah, just give him a little bit of that.
Man, I knew Lil Uzi for a while when he was going to Boom. Like, that's really my youngin'. Like, to see him do what he do, like, that shit magnificent. He kind of made me believe that I can do anything, and I still believe that. P.M.B. Rock, a good friend of mine. Who else? Tavern Farmer, Danny Swift Garcia, Meek, that's a good friend of mine. Beanie Siegel, a good folks. You know what I mean? And the list, like, it just go on. Like, I can't forget about, like, the up and coming artists, like Drama. He one of my favorites. I look up to Pusha Feek always. That's my big bro. Shout out to Young Damage, you know, another one of my big brothers. Snake Eyes. I fuck with Hollow Man. I can't forget about motherfucking Rico Havoc. A lot of motherfuckers, man. I know a lot of people, man. Southside Jew, Fat Boy SSE, Funniest in Philly. It's just a lot of people, man. I can really go on. Like, a lot of the people in the city that fuck with me, that made it. Like that look up to me and that fuck with me the same type of way. It's like the same type of love. It's like when we see each other, they don't look down on me. They look me in my eyes. You know what I mean? Like, the same type of love, and you know how highly I speak of them, they speak highly of me. You know what I mean? Rock the World really had me around a lot of people.
Right.
He had me around a lot. I've been around some of the best,
And he fuck with Meek heavy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I fuck with Meek heavy. Like, Meek, he made me want to grind harder because, like, I was doing this comedy shit on the gram, the Peaches shit. I was doing it because, like, you know, I'm funny as shit too. I like to act and shit.
Alright, so you're doing like the comedy, the Instagram skits and all that.
Yeah, he grinded me up about it. Like, no, man, like, you do music. Like, you can sing, you can rap. Like, do that. Like, I remember when we was in Red Sticks out in New York, and he told me to sing for Nicki. And, like, every word I said, it was like he already knew what I was going to say to finish it. You know what I mean? And I just be thinking about all the times I was out, you know, at his shows, and, you know, the crowd, like, gravitating to him and shit. I'm like, man, I could do the same shit. Like, so, like, a lot of guys, the Tevin Farmers, the Meeks, and Danny Garcias, and top motherfuckers in the city that's winning right now, like, they motivate me. Like, you know what I mean? My family motivate me. Like, they give me that drive to keep going, like, and not stop, like, because I really am one of the hottest that come out of Philly, like, hands down. Like, the shit that I be talking about, like, and I be singing that shit so you feel it. You know what I mean? Like, I be passionate about this shit. Like, I sleep singing songs. I take shit singing songs. I'm in the shower singing songs. Everything I do is a song.
I mean, you talked about the comedy skits, then you got back into the music, so we in 2018 about to go into 2019. So what you got coming up? You got some new songs, new projects?
I've been prolonging for a while now, like, you know what I mean? I've been prolonging for a while now. I'm really going to stop playing. I'm giving y'all the album January 2019, Martin Luther King weekend, you know what I mean? Definitely a couple hot motherfuckers on this joint. I'm ready to go hit the stew in a little bit. I ain't going to do too much name dropping, but you got a couple hot motherfuckers that's in the door already on this joint, you know what I mean? I'm coming hard, I'm coming for the throne, man. Singing, rapping, however they want it, I'm coming.
So go ahead and plug your social media and how they can follow you and stay updated with you and all that.
SoundCloud, Rashid Smith 2. Instagram, she_low215. YouTube, she low. Facebook, Rashid Smith. You can check all them joints out, man. Definitely follow me on the gram, she_low215 once again, man. Shout out to everybody in Philly. Shout out to North Philly, South Philly, Uptown, West Philly. Shout out to Feet. Shout out to Damage for coming through. Shout out to F.A.M.E TV for having me, man. Shout out to my son.
Alright, so anything else you want to let the people know before we get out of here? Anything else?
Rest in peace, Reezy. Neck up, you know what I mean? Rest in peace, Shiz. You know what I mean? Shout out to the motherfucking city, man. Like, look forward to this album, man. I should bless y'all with a couple bars, man. Just so y'all can know what to be looking forward to. But, you know, make sure y'all follow me on the gram, man. Once again, shout out to F.A.M.E TV, man.
Alright, man. On that note, we signing out till next time. She low, F.A.M.E TV.